Hello everyone and welcome to Pearls of Fisdom with Nirmal Bang. I'm Avan Dabash. Today we want to talk about a stock that is in the defense space that has turned a multi-bagger over the last few years. It designs, develops and manufactures defense training systems and simulator technology and sensors. I'm talking about Zen Technologies. Joining in right now we have Mr. Ashok Atluri, who is the chairman and managing director. Thank you so much for taking time out. And let's start off by talking about your long-term growth projections, because you have said in the past that the company wants to grow at a faster clip. You want to have strong margins. You have the ability to grow across defense segments as well. So tell us about what is driving this optimism.
Thanks, Avan, for having me. The reason we are very optimistic about the current situation in defense industry is that we have the macro environment is very, very favorable. The government is focusing on designing and developing in India, IP ownership in India. They have policies like the simulator framework policy, in which they are mandating the transition to simulator use. The factors like Ukraine-Russia war, in which we have seen Ukraine has the world's latest equipment, but they're still losing against reasonably dated equipment from Russia, and the conclusion that most of the armies are coming to is that it really is not the latest equipment or the latest toy that matters, but the man who's behind the machine. So the trained guys is becoming very, very training has become very, very important. And of course, the emerging drone threat started with the Armenia-Azerbaijan war. Now everybody knows that drone is the new way to attack, new weapon in the arsenal, and that can really tilt the scale in their favor. So the counter drone system that we make are the second category that we are doing. And third that we are recently working on are the remote control weapon stations and the autonomous operations thing. So these three are in a kind of a bouquet of products that we are offering, and all of them we are in a sweet spot that all the countries, not only India but other countries, are also showing a lot of interest in these products.
Absolutely, and you do command a very strong market share as well in both the segments of defense simulator as well as in the counter drone market. Tell us about the market share that you enjoy and how you plan to grow that.
So, in terms of the simulators, the demand is growing. The statement that the Chief of Army Staff last year said that the demand is just picking up. They are going to across the board they are going to introduce simulators. So that was a very encouraging comment. And of course, these anti-drone systems also, we are seeing that the threats only are increasing every day. And we see that the demand is also increasing, and we are able to offer the solutions. And as a one-stop shop, I think very few companies in the world have that we in-house produce all the components that are required to make a product operational, starting from detector, radar, camera, jammer, hard kill interface, of course the command and control center. Everything is in-house, so that they get a integrated solution, not like you can think like a Mac rather than a PC where you assemble from other guys. So we are that solution, and so we have already seen the growth is tremendous. In 22 we started with 60 crores, 23 we were 160 crores, 24 we were 430 crores. This year we are anticipating at least 900 crores. So the growth, and for the next 3 years we are saying that at least 50% CAGR growth seems achievable. So this is our prediction, and we are very, very gung-ho about the markets, especially the Indian market. Of course, the kind of relationship India has with other countries, that's helping us to export to also, and the kind of push we are getting from the Indian government is helping us export.
That sounds very promising. And tell us a little bit about your order book. What does it currently stand at? And break it up for us. What is the domestic order book and what is your export potential and contribution?
So overall, we are about 1,400 crores. I'm giving you the March 31st last year figures.
Oh.
And out of that, almost 400 crores is exports and about 1,000 crores is domestic.
And what kind of order inflow are you expecting across simulators, across the anti-drones? What will your overall working capital look like with improved collections? Give us more clarity on that.
So in terms of simulators and anti-drone system, we have about 60-40 kind of a thing, 60 in favor of simulators, and we expect that as we go ahead, the simulator demand is also picking up tremendously, but there may be some skewness in favor of anti-drone systems, as I think probably will go to a 50-50 stage. And when I say anti-drone, I also include the cameras, the hard kill interface, and the whole solution that we give. And in terms of exports and domestic, again I said, all of about 33% is the domestic, the exports that we are doing. We expect this also to slowly go to about 40%, and because we are getting a lot of demand from the foreign countries, especially with relation to training and the drone threats that they're facing, both the training simulators and the anti-drone systems.
Do you have any acquisition plans then lined up? What would be the size of these acquisitions? Which sectors is it that you would be focusing on to really strengthen yourself in both the anti-drone segment and the simulator segment?
So inflow of orders we expect to be in domestic, we are expecting to be very, very strong. Of course, imports also, exports also, we are going to get some orders based on the inquiries that I think there will be some surprises in exports also. We are talking to multiple countries at this point in time, but because of the cycle stuff, the procurement cycle is a little longish because based on the size of the order, it's taking some time. But we expect these two to come in. We want to acquire companies in adjacencies where we will strengthen either in the field of simulation. For example, we are very well entrenched in Army. Are there any opportunities in related like Navy, Air Force? If they are, we would like to acquire them. We're looking at those acquisitions. We're also looking at acquisitions in the space of anti-drone systems, where we can deepen our capabilities for anti-drone solutions. So it has to strengthen our position globally in these two markets. So that those are the areas that we are trying to acquire in, and we are in discussions with a couple of companies at this point in time. And as and when there's something happens, we'll definitely announce to the shareholders.
And clearly, you're a company that is embracing technology at its best. You're, of course, at the forefront of it. There was the AI-powered robot. Tell us a little bit more about how you're really leveraging technology.
So, of course, in the development phase itself, we are using extraordinary amount of, the coding is being done using the AI-powered tools. So the development time has collapsed significantly for us, and more reliable code is coming. And second is, of course, for marketing and assessing where to go next. Even though in those fields we are using AI tools, and in fact now we are going a little deeper into, of course, in the training methodology also. Now we have applied our training data that we have over the past few years and said how can we compress this into smaller cycles. For example, when Agniveer was introduced, the training before Agniveer, it was 100 weeks for the training period. Now they have compressed it to 30 weeks. So some of the algorithms, some of in our simulators are AI based that have helped us in compress the training and other things. Of course, now we want to go further with the AI, including looking at digital twins and how we can preemptively do the maintenance, etc. And even in a big scale, how do we use AI tools for predicting how the future wars will be fought, and what kind of training needs to be done for those kind of wars. So we have embraced AI in a full-fledged manner, and we are really using it for its full power.
Super interesting, and give us a sense as well, Mr. Atluri, as to what the outlook is when it comes to your revenue projection. What is it that you're penciling in? What is it that we can see on your margins over the next 2 to 3 years?
So yeah, we are thinking that we'll do 900 crores this year, but next year we'll do at least a 50% on average road. Next 3 years, 50% CAGR is what I've expected. That would be 1350, 2000, and 3000 crores for the next 3 years. So here or there, but on an average, we should be having the 50% CAGR.
And the company also recently received the patent in India for the mine detection system. What does this mean for you? How can it aid your overall revenue projection?
So again, we have applied for more than 150 patents, and out of them 75 have been granted, and one of them was the mine detection system. So the problem with mines is, when people lay a mine, and when the threat is there of some terrorists coming or whatever, they after a year or two they want to demine because the threat is no longer there. But when they go to demine take out the mine, what they see is that the mine is not there, it has drifted. And in fact, many times when they go to retrieve the mine, there are casualties from our side. So what the technology is, even if it drifts underground, we are able to track the movement through using some advanced technology. So that is the mining detection system, which is fantastic, and we have got a lot of inquiries in this. And of course, there are a lot of other products that we are made, a lot of other R&D that we are going, and a lot of products that we are going to launch. In September 19th, we are going to launch some more products in the field of surveillance and detection. So we think that we think of ourselves as an IP company. We don't think of ourselves as a manufacturer, make in India company, but we think of ourselves as design and development. Are we owning the IP ground up, or are we just getting somebody and acting like they're manufacturing fully? No, we actually are the inventors, and we build on that. So there is a lot of IP that we have built on which we can easily create more products. So we are, I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with the announcements that we'll be making in the next few months and years in this regard.
And I want to touch upon your fundraising plans. There was that QIP of 800 crore rupees. Post that, what are your fundraising plans? What are your capex plans that are laid out?
Yeah, so we have raised 1,000 crores recently, and we have to deploy those funds, and we don't have any plans to raise further funds. Again, these funds are primarily will be used for acquisitions, and then our working capital needs, and of course general corporate purpose. But we want to really acquire good companies which will really multiply or be synergistic and multiply our capabilities. So yes, after once the funds are deployed, then we look at if any further need for funds is there, we look at the another raise. But at this point in time, there is no plans to go for another raise.
And given that the addressable market for simulators and counter drones in India is at about 14,000 crores and 12,000 crores respectively over the next 5 years, how do you plan to capitalize on that?
So one thing is that whatever the demand is being, so we are actually going to the customer and saying that the benefits of the simulator, and we are trying to show them what simulators can do, so that we can help them in writing out the specifications and understand their needs. So once those needs are understood, and when the tenders are floated, we want to be ready with what the customer requires, not what we have. So that continuous interaction is happening with the customers to ensure that whatever the requirements come, we are able to meet them. And based on that, and again, as you said, the market sizes are very, very big, 14,000, 15,000, 10,000 kind of crores. And we expect that we will be a major player in both the anti-drone segment and the simulators for the army in this for the future. So we do expect that we will get into some other adjacencies, and the market size will increase for us. But as of now, we are very, very focused on these anti-drone and army simulators at this point in time.
And what are the pearls of wisdom that you want to share, being at the forefront, really?
No, hardly anything I can share. I mean, you are much smarter than most of us, so I will.
No, so I wanted to understand, because it is important that you're a company in the defense space. There's so much work being done by the government. What would be the advice that you would want to share, given your position over the long term?
What I would do is, the basic Zen principle is that less is more. So don't try to do too many things. Try to focus on one segment and try to dominate. Don't say that I want to supply to Indian Army. Say I want to become global number one in this. And then the Indian Army and the world armies will come after you. Don't just say, I want to get this order and get out. Don't have a long-term infinite game mentality where you keep playing the game no matter whether you lose or win a tender. So that way, finally, you will be a winner in the Indian Army segment, in the Indian defense segment. Play long-term, be focused, and you will, the Indian Armed Forces will definitely reward you for that.
And I guess just dream big. That would be what you guys at Zen Technology are doing with aplomb. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you, Avan. Thank you so much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.